This has been extraordinarily penal to Ja from a financial standpoint. I will guesstimate at this point he is at least looking at $50 million in losses.
$50 million? You think you got Kelsey Clinton?
Because he's going to face the no pay for these 25 games, the no pay for the 8 games he already had this last year. And there is no doubt in my mind he would have been all NBA had he not had this incident last season. He didn't make the All NBA team. That cost him $40 million in bonus money. It might even be closer to $60 million, not to mention potential lost business with sponsorship.
That's stupid, guys. Is this camera on me?
Yes, it's on.
That's stupid. Use your common sense.
So just from the financial standpoint, I know it's as bad of a penalty as we have seen in the history of professional sports, what this has cost him financially. Now, he can recover all of that, but of all the consequences that he is facing, in addition to his reputation, in addition to everything else, the financial ramifications of this are just crushing.
Only thing I would throw over that is Michael Vick. Michael Vick cost himself about $100 million, plus he did a time in the federal penitentiary.
Right.
It ain't that bad.
Right.
Yeah, our Bobby Mark says $304,000 a game for Ja Morant. He'll lose $7.6 million with this 25-game suspension.
Wow. $7.6 million?
That's
okay.
Yeah, that's certainly.
And what Wendy said, it comes out to about $50 million.
Yeah,
Come out
sure.
about
$50 million? Who you think you got, Chelsea Carter? $50 million? Who you think you got, Chelsea Grammer? Chelsea? You think you got Chelsea Clinton? $50 million? Who you think you got, Chelsea Clinton?
Keep him talking.
Go back to the beginning. Was that it? Chelsea? Did I get it?
We definitely got it, Chris. Agent Carter, yes, sir. And Ja Morant about to get it, too. Oh, man, but I'm going to tell you one thing, man. Listen, I need y'all to hit that subscription button, subscribe. Hit that like, notification bell, share this video, because any new content, we don't want nobody to miss out or lose out on this heat. Now, let's get into Mr. Ja Morant as we scrutinize this. So, as many of you may now know, the 23-year-old up-and-coming star in the NBA, point guard for the Memphis Grizzlies, Demetrius Jamel Morant, is now in hot water. But of course, we know he was in hot water earlier in this past season, where he missed significant games that cost him big money and cost him several different accolades and awards in the NBA. And as we are approaching a new season and a CBA agreement being reached, it is also going to be an issue this upcoming season that ensures that Mr. Morant, after he serves this 25-game suspension, he is going to definitely, with what's left of the season, he's going to miss another opportunity to get significant awards. He's going to miss an opportunity to be able to actually have an opportunity to be NBA first team, possibly get after defensive player, after go after an MVP award, anything like that. He's missing a ton of money to the tune of $50 million, or even upward of $60 million. And then when you think about endorsements like with Nike, and you think about his endorsements with Powerade, and you think about his endorsements, I was in a store the other day, and I think I think he also has a sponsorship with Dunkaroo. I think that's the name, Dunkaroo. One of the little cookie snacks, you can dunk it in a little frosting. You remember we had when we was with little children or whatever. But Mr. Morant here has a lot of things on the line. If he does not get it together, ultimately he's got a lot of things left on the line, and there's a lot of things that he's lost already. But I want you to hear some other people talk about this a little bit more in detail.
You want to know the only thing more expensive than the California state tax?
the stupid tax that Ja Morant's paying. Officially suspended 25 games. Now, let me give you all the real deal information that you need to know. Why 25 games? Because in the NBA starting this year, if you do not play 65 games in a season, you're not eligible for postseason awards. Meaning, Ja Morant, by being suspended 25 games, can only play a maximum of 57 games. Therefore, he can't make an All-NBA team. He can't be the Defensive Player of the Year. He can't be an NBA MVP because he will not meet the minimum requirement of games. So 25 games is the initial punishment, but the secondary punishment is eliminating him from any postseason awards. Keep in mind, he already lost out on $40 million, a $40 million contractual escalator by being suspended so many games this past season that voters didn't put him on an All-NBA team. The stupid tax that Ja Morant is paying is not only costing him dollars, but also the front row seat as the face of the NBA here in the next couple years. Do not pay the stupid tax, and Ja Morant paying it in excess.
Well said, and thank you, Emmanuel Acho. So in essence, what's happening here, as he said, there's always a surface and then there's something underneath. And so the thing on the surface that we automatically see, the optics, is that, oh, he's being suspended 25 games. And you got all kind of people saying it should be more. You got people that's bringing up situations like with, they're saying like, you know what I'm saying, my man Ron Artest was suspended the entire season just for fighting this, that, and the other. And so if what the issue is that Ja Morant, who you wanted to be the face of the NBA and to, you know, basically get the attention of these young children and stuff like this, yes, you know what I'm saying, you want to try to send a message. And a lot of people think that he should have got 30 games or more. A lot of people, you know, think that he should have really got an entire season because of he gave you the impression last year that he learned his lesson in this present season that just ended. He gave you the impression that when he came back, he really learned his lesson. He went through all this rehabilitation and this, you know, this mental therapy and all this other stuff. And then next thing you know, he's brandishing a gun, a toy gun, allegedly, whatever you want to call it. It happened too quickly for us to really know if it was a toy, whatever the case may be. But see, this is the problem that happens with social media, because now comes, as you see on the surface, it's 25 games. But as Acho pointed out, and I love that he pointed out, is that the secondary punishment, which really is the main punishment, is that Mr. Demetrius Jamel Morant, you will not be the face of our league. Even though that's what we initially wanted, you will not be the face of our league. We're going to punish you in that manner. You won't be able to get any significant awards. You will not be able to call this a revenge tour. There will be no extra motivation for you. You're going to just be able to come back, be a regular player, and you're going to have to create whatever motivation you can, but it will not be a revenge tour, and you mess around and become the MVP of the league and have some comeback story and this, that, the other. If you want any of that, you're going to probably have to focus on this from the next year following, because you will not be doing it in 2024. That's what they're trying to say. So they're giving him these extra punishments because, you know, Massa has spoken. And that's what leads me to a lot of the things that I have been seeing, because just as of late, you know, on Instagram, that's when I saw this. And I'm going to tell you, I can't say that I believe Ja Morant is writing or saying any of these things. This is all alleged. And the article says that, or the apology says, "I'm sorry for the harm I've done to the kids who looked up to me. I'm sorry for failing you as a role model." I want you to lock in and focus on that word, that phrase, role model. "I promise I'm going to be better." And so that's the main piece of meat of that statement, quote unquote, alleged statement from Ja Morant. It goes further. It says, "I've had this is the whole context here. It says, "I've had time to reflect, and I realize how much hurt I've caused, and I want to apologize to the NBA, the Grizzlies, my teammates, and the city of Memphis, to Adam Silver, to Zach Kleiman, and Robert Pera, who gave me the opportunity to be a professional athlete and have supported me. I'm sorry for the harm I've done to the kids who looked up to me. I'm sorry for failing you as a role model. Look, that right there is the main thing that I want to kind of focus on, because in the famous words of Sir Charles Barkley,
I am not a role model. I'm not paid to be a role model. I am paid to wreak havoc on the basketball court. Parents should be role models. Just because I dunk a basketball doesn't mean I should raise your kids.
indeed, Sir Charles, but somewhere along the way, you forgot your own message, because it was one of the most golden 100, 1,000, 1,000 wow messages ever put out there. And when you can look at somebody like a 23-year-old Ja Morant, who is putting the pressure and carrying the pressure on his shoulders for fandom, for fanatics, for grown tail men who should be raising their own children, for individuals who, when they cut the television off, there is no more Ja Morant, there is no more Sir Charles Barkley, there is no more Michael Jordan or LeBron James, who's in Europe right now. He wanted to make it clear he's in Europe minding his business, and he's hearing everything that Mike Malone is saying since the Nuggets won the championship. Yes, you're right. You go about your own lives. You got all this money. You're doing your own thing, and when the television go off, we don't see you dunking this basketball no more. And so it doesn't matter when you're a grown man or woman trying to inspire your children through people on a television screen who, when you turn it off, they're gone. That's a problem, especially when you're the ones who are in their lives more than anything. This is something that Ja Morant's family need to rally around him and get together, because at the end of the day, now that this young man at 23 years old who has a child of his own and it still hasn't experienced enough life to really lead anybody, this is the part that's ludicrous to me, when he has to say, I'm sorry for failing you as a role model. Yes, Ja Morant, you may be connected to sponsorship, but it's not your job to raise my children. I'm a 42-year-old man. That's my responsibility, just like Charles Barkley said. He says, I'm going to be a better representation of our brands, and to all my fans, I'm going to make it up to you, I promise. See, this is what happens when you carry unrealistic things on your shoulders, because this is how easy it is for you to be built up and torn down. I'm spending the off season and my suspension continue to work on my mental health and decision making. I'm also going to be training so that I am ready to go when I can be back on the court. I know my teammates are going to hold it down, and I'm so sorry I won't be out there with you at the beginning of the season. I hope you'll give me the chance to prove to you over time I'm a better man than what I've been showing you. Listen, Ja Morant, whatever mental things you have to deal with, whatever spiritual, physical things that you have to deal with to build yourself up strong, do it for yourself so that you can stand tall as a man that's becoming one day a future elder. Elders that are out here failing you, because they have lived all these years, double your 23, and they ain't got nothing to teach you, got nothing to pass you right now, and dare allow you to hold these things on your young shoulders. See, at the end of the day, I understand what this is. This is a different version of the whiplashing that they were trying to give Kyrie, but it's in a different form. And you're not only are you not going to be the face of our league, but we're going to make you carry this thing on your shoulders, because really, what did this man do wrong? What did he do wrong? Was it the setting? Was it that he should have been at a gun range or something? Because at the end of the day, he's in the privacy of a vehicle. Whatever he had, alleged toy, whatever, it's his business. But all this is because of optics and impression, a face. And the fact that he made deals with, these companies, these organizations that he is kowtowing to and all these different things like that. This is the type of things that you do when you sell your soul. So I hope that Mr. Ja Morant understands that as a 23-year-old man, you have your own child, and you need to be as much of a role model for her, because you see her more than we ever would. And for the children that I have, and for the children that everybody else have that call themselves fans and fanatics, who don't have much better else to do with their lives, maybe when you turn off your television and Ja Morant is forgotten in that moment, you should understand that you have more time with your children than he ever would, and it's your responsibility. But I'm out. baby. I'm up out of here. I ain't gonna play with her. I'm out, baby. Hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell.